All yours.
Hi, thanks for coming. My name is Dumisani. I'm a penetration tester from Painters People. I won't waste any of time. Just get to know each other after the talk. I chose this talk because we've had a lot of technical talks that we've listened to today, but none of it actually speaks to the consultancy part of it. As far as actually how to present what you have found. They're very good technical people that are giving us findings, but how do you come back to it? How do you communicate that to the client? So that's what we're going to be talking about today. Let's go in. So what is my slide all over? This is supposed to be the lost slide. So when people think of penetration testing, they think about basically the payloads, the hacking, getting SQL injection, dumping creds. You are basically you're poding, but you're already poding unnecessarily hard. So now we're going back to how you're going to translate what you have done into actionable tasks. So we move on to the people side, the documentation part of it, as well as the explanation of it, and how you actually get your point across into actionable content. So the report is basically what we are delivering. This is what we are selling through all the value chain, where it comes from the CEO down to the person who's actually cleaning and the others. So what we're selling as a consultant company is the report. Reports are our main deliverables. Normally a good report would have 3 seconds. The executive summary. This is basically for the decision makers. This is for the CEOs, for basically the non-technical people. And then you get where you clearly define your technical stuff. Where your IT people need to actually action these particular fixes that you found, the bugs that you found. And then basically you actually list them in terms of prioritization. What is important? What do they need to do now? What is impacting them now? So, like I said, the client actually wonders, what is this? What does it mean to me? Where do we go from here? So us as the consultants who have actually done the job, we become basically the bridge between linking the technical part as well as the business part, showing basically the impact that what findings you found, how you compromise the domain, for example, how does it actually translate into not rands. So I'm a South African, I'm saying rands. Into pounds and dollars. So yeah. But really, here's where the job expands. It's not about finding the vulnerabilities. It's about telling the story of risk. Clients actually don't care about CVEs. What keeps them up at night? Data loss, downtime, compliance, financial impact. Our role is to actually translate and detail it into a business language that they actually understand. Part of the tool that we need to actually have is running debrief calls. I don't know if you've sat in a few debrief calls after you've actually brought down the domain and now you need to explain this. It's not an easy part, especially if you have a tricky CISO or admin that is basically not so keen to hearing what you want to say. The debrief call is where everything actually comes alive. But in the debrief call itself, don't just read the report. Tell the story. What did you do? How did you go across that? I mean, like, use example. Makes risks relatable to the client. Pause questions at times. Listen to what they have to say. And then and when question comes, basically you try and navigate it, think about it, pause for a second, and find an answer that actually is both going to help the end user, which is the client at this time. Soft skills that may set you apart. This is the part that isn't taught in technical training. Basically, listening carefully, showing empathy of the situation, adapting to your tone, basically, of the room itself. These skills will set you apart and build trust amongst your clients. Clients will forget CVs, but they'll remember how you made them feel when they were lost and confused in terms of how do we actually fix this. What I've learned the hard way. So I've been at a penetration test for 5 years. The first 2, or maybe the first couple of months, they weren't as smooth sailing as I thought it was. I had to go into debrief calls. I had no knowledge of what I was doing at that particular time. No knowledge of actually conducting a debrief call as well. So that particular anxiety build up quite some out up until actually stepped into it, learned from it, adapted into basically how do I conduct myself when I'm actually busy engaging with a client. I've broken a few networks at times by explaining that to a client. But the most important part is just to keep calm, to relate what you have found in a sensible manner that won't make you or the client feel it out of your depth. Never miss a growth moment, because each and every mistake that has happened in life in general, there is actually a growth moment or a learning moment. Oh, I think I went too fast. That's his last line. Give 10 minutes break every day. So there are practical takeaways. Always connect findings back to the client. Write the reports, basically. Write the reports for all audiences. Like I said, it's for all the technical people and the non-technical people, which is mostly the decision makers. Lead debrief calls with confidence. Focus on the business impact of your findings and build soft skills as well as technical skills deliberately. And wow.
Efficient.
Wow.
It's a sign of a perfect debrief, right? You've got to the point.
Yeah, I'll get you guys out in time. Yeah, thank you. That's my...
Do you have any questions?
I've got one. I think great presentation, and I think you're really to the point. Love the storytelling. I think that's really, really important as part of that. I think, but I find also, I think in your experience, like previous experiences. So if you're doing a financial application, and if you've seen others, I don't know if you've seen kind of being able to tell that story. How do you find that?
For specifically for financial application?
No, just anything like if you're doing infrastructure and you see 2 different infrastructure, you tend to tell the customer, this is what I've done before, and this is the sorts of things that you can improve on. Is that the sort of thing you can do?
Well, I think when you relate to a story of things that you've done, number one, it brings you credibility. You've seen this before. This is how you're gonna fix it. As well, you actually know how you're gonna fix that. The story that you tell, it's going to be said to the client. Say, hey, this is what is happening. We've seen this before, and this is how we would normally fixed it, depending on how long ago it was actually, if it's relevant for the time as well.
What approach would you take to talk about linking it to business impact? It's not necessarily something that we would talk about in cyber. How would you find out about that business impact and what matters to business?
For one, I spoke about downtime as well. Servers are down. Where your web applications are down, they're not accessible. What the consumer consumes externally that we can't see the front end. If that is down, if the back end is down, we need to convey that in a way that says, hey guys, once downtime hits, you'll be losing X amount of money on a product that is not currently online at the moment. So if it's consumed by human or from outside, I think you equate it mostly in terms of money. Basically, that's what it's all about. The business impact is: are we making a financial loss? Are we making a financial gain at that time? So, yeah.
Makes a difference when you aren't getting a bonus.
When you tell them about that, it's just going to hurt their pockets. They'll make sure.
I have a follow-up question on that. When you're trying to put stuff into perspective in terms of money, do you get access to financial records for the company, or do you use publicly available ones?
We use what we find.
Okay.
Normally, it would be, if we'd find basically information that's not supposed to be seen by anybody. We use that, be like, hey, you're able to access your payroll or anything else like that. So, in order to just put mitigation so that people who are internally or externally don't have access to such records.
Right.
Yeah.
You were saying more about personal growth, how that can help you improve. What would you say was one of your best moments that was beneficial for you for personal growth?
Realizing that I don't know everything. Yeah, so yeah, I was always trying to actually run to master and to learn everything for once. And I was like, there's not enough time. There's not enough time. I can't. You can always try to be better. As well as in terms of like the personal growth, own up the mistakes that you made. That's how we grow. We own up to the mistakes that we make. We take accountability to that. And yeah. Okay.
It's a bit of a personal question, actually. What's the part of pen testing you really enjoy? Because I'm guessing you do a whole load of applications and you do infrastructure and you do a whole... Is there something you really enjoy?
When it impacts real life situations, it varies really. Because I've done a lot of mobile tests that I would actually be able to track live cars from a very leading company. And for banks, you were able to basically manipulate funds into another person's account. So it varies. I think the thrill for me is actually trying to outsmart the other person. Yes, sir. Both. I think that they need to be both. You'd find that there will be executives who are technically savvy, and maybe you don't need them to be there. But you'll find where you need the IT guy or the person who's actually in charge of the systems that needs to be there in order to actually say, hey, this server we don't need. We can actually decommission it, and then the executive will know such information. So when you run debriefs with both the technical and the non-technical guys, you kind of basically you're not cutting corners, so to speak. You are covering both sides of the technical part and the business side of it. Because at times you sit at a call where they are at each other. You're sitting back and you're just listening to them, or you just show the finding. And technical guy is trying to explain why it's actually back. So yeah, it's beneficial to have them both in a setting.
Excellent, thank you. Just wondering, when you're doing your penetration testing, do you ever come across things like that the company might be doing that are illegal, or somebody doing fraud, or somebody selling IP, intellectual property, things like that are not technical but are bad and dodgy, and do those things that make their way to report?
I've never come across a situation like that. Yeah, I can't speak on that. Yeah. Sounds interesting, though. Yes, sir.
Do you use AI to enrich you to deliver and get additional information to make context of what you've done better?
I think AI is a powerful tool. If we don't use it, I feel like we're missing out on something as well. And if you use it too much, then stepping away from the traditional way of doing things. Yes, we use AI. I think that's a short answer.
Any examples of these cases?
I'm bad at coding, number one. But if you would actually want to run a simple task, throw it to AI. Hey, I want to do A, B, and C, and will you do it for me? And then as it goes along, you basically tell it to what you want it to do. So yeah, AI is basically telling it what you want it to do, instead of actually relying on it. You know the outcome of what you want, and then you just tell it, hey, this is the outcome that I want, and yeah. Yes, sir.
I currently work in a SOC. With you being a consultant, is there something that you'd like SOC analysts like myself to keep in mind when we receive pen test reports? Is there, I don't know, some sort of collaboration you would like to see from the blue team?
Don't shoot us down, man. we are finding stuff that's within the environment, and we just bring it to light. Some SOC analysts, some sysadmins, they don't like that. Yeah, you spend a couple of hours defending a medium finding, while we have high findings that have much more greater impact. So pick your fights.
You're going to both one day. Being told.
Alrighty then. Thank you very much for your time.